What's going on, you guys? Final Boss back with another video, and today I made it to the Frozen Peak with all commons and rares, as you can see here, and we made it directly on 2300. You know, it wasn't the easiest of tasks, and I think I could level up some cards, but I'm just trying to like be really smart and everything else. And as you guys can see, I do have a lot of gold, and I have bought gems on this account just to speed up the account and just to be able to make content out. We are approaching very quickly to level 6, and don't believe I'm going to make it, unfortunately, to Arena 10 with all commons and rares. This is just a really tough task. I don't know, but let's just focus on deck building and only focusing on all the cards. We've got a lot of cards unlocked. We even gotten some legends. Let's undo that thing, undo the rage. And we just haven't really leveled up anything at all. The only cards that I have leveled currently, let's see, is there anything else? We had to level the arrows to level 2, and nothing else has been leveled yet. So essentially, we're just over leveling everything. We didn't even level up our log. We're not using it. So only the thing that we have used is just this deck, and this is the only thing that we have leveled in this deck. I have switched out the Ice Wizard for the Musketeer. But, you know, for the sake of this video and to help everybody out, this deck is right here is going to have some longevity to it. You could even substitute out, like, you know, a Royal Giant or something like that for the Hog if you don't want to use the Hog. But these cards are going to be really good and used later down, and it's going to help you push really further into the arenas. So I know a lot of people have given me some flack, and they're like, you know what, boss? You know, you said these cards aren't good, and these aren't, you know, it's not that they're not good. I just think that these cards right here, you're going to be able to get really far. So, you know, upgrade your Hog, upgrade your Musketeer. Even Valkyrie's still good. You can still get really high with Valkyrie and everything else. And if you don't want to use the Valkyrie, you could substitute a Mini P.E.K.K.A. But you just need to focus on a few cards that are really good. Just like the Fireball and Zap are just money. Inferno is always going to be a great card. Me with the Hog. But I've been using level 1 little Skellies. So, yeah, they're just completely little beasts. And I just use them as distraction techniques, mainly for like Skeleton Army or the Horde and everything else. So just a little treat. Yes, I'm going to go on ahead and gem up a magical chest just for kicks and giggles here. I did think about using the Mega Minion, but I think I'm just going to focus on this deck currently. We might switch it up, but as currently right now we haven't got any epics, so there's going to be some epics. So no legends going to be happening right here. So this deck is actually going to be a pretty good account. You know, I'm going to be able to get up there and make content for you guys. So I did invest some money for, you know, for video content for you guys to try to help and, you know, to see how everything is going to go. So let's go ahead and take a look at our battle log. We're going to go on ahead and take a look here. And I lose games. I mean, I kept getting like one game away and then I'd lose. And everything else, but a lot of these guys I'm playing are level 9s, guys. These are, and we're seeing a lot of this Royal Giant, 3 Musketeer deck. So we're gonna go ahead and start it off with this one. I'm gonna give a breakdown on this as well. Alright, for starters, guys, I just kind of like chill and wait to see what their first move is going to be and just see how I can respond. He's going to drop 3 Musketeers in the back, not even splitting them. We're going to put our 1 Musketeer, which is really nice and sad, at level 4 versus level 6. But he goes on ahead and puts his Goblins in the front. We're going to kind of take care of that. We're waiting to drop our Valkyrie and all this business right here. And now we're going to just put down the Fire Spirits to take it down, because I know that my troops are under leveled and we're going to need some help. But still, that ends up being pretty positive for us. And as you can see here, that I'm actually, you know, currently in the lead with Elixir. So I have my Zap here, and going to go on ahead and zap those little Skellies lane. We're only going to able to get 1 hit. So upgrading the Hog to level 5 was really nice compared to level 4. I felt like just the towers, the higher level towers were just destroying my Hog. So I just got to level him up right before this video. So for most of the games, I'd had a level 4 Hog. And I was using the Ice Wizard, but for the sake of this video, you know, I wanted to go on ahead and switch back to the Musketeer, because that's what we're working on and that's what we're wanting to build. Because not everybody's going to have legends or get lucky like I did. I have a free chest with the that there. So we're going to go on ahead and wait for him to cross the bridge or get close to it in range. And now we're just hoping to get our Fireball as soon as possible, and that the Royal Giant gets taken care of right there. So we're going to go ahead and put down our 1 Elixir Skeleton, so they get get destroyed, and now he's making us use my zap because, you know, I wasn't going to use the zap. I was just going to kind of try to counter for as cheap as possible, because a lot of these cards and a lot of this is going on, you know, we're dealing with higher level people that are 4 times higher than us, you know, with a lot higher cards that over-leveled Royal Giant, and that's why the Inferno is so important, even in the high arenas and everything else. So I'm really having a lot of fun with this game right now. You know, and it's kind of nice and refreshing from, you know, taking it off of my maxed account, and I feel like this is really going to be able to give you guys some tips. So I do apologize just in advance. You know, if I said that something to offend you guys, and, you know, if I made you mad by saying, you know, you shouldn't level these cards, I'm just trying to, like, look out for you guys and just trying to help you build cards up. Because a frequent problem that I see with so many people is that they're leveling up all their cards. So that's fine if you want to use Skeleton Army and that's like your favorite card ever. You know, by all means, if it's working for you, go on ahead and use that. So, you know, I don't have a problem with that, and I'm not going to tell you to delete your account and, you know, and everything else. So, I mean, I want you guys to have fun. It's your game, essentially. I just trying to tell you guys things that will help improve your gameplay and kind of bring out some longevity here. And we were able to zap that dude away, and he puts down his miner, and that was a good game. So give him the thumbs up. So that is a lot of what we're seeing, and as we are getting a lot higher, you know, that's going to also be another issue that we're going to be able to see going forward. But the thing is what I've always done in my games is try to figure out how to counter the people I'm playing and the decks I'm seeing the most. If I see something become meta, means it's like something that's being used a lot, you know, you're gonna have to figure out how to beat it. So, you know, Valkyrie is still a really good card. It completely counters, almost practically counters Graveyard by itself, you know, with some tower and everything else. But as you guys can see right here, I went ahead and saw the golem, and as I've told you guys in so many other videos, if you see something with a heavy push, you just go on ahead and spend all of your elixir on the other side and hope for the best here. So essentially, by doing all that, he's pretty much left broke. Now his golem that cost him 9 million elixir is being taken care of really easily by a underleveled Inferno. I believe at this point too I hadn't upgraded my Inferno. It was, I think this is a level 4. I'm not sure, you guys can quote me wrong here. But yes, the Skeleton Army, it costs 3 elixir. It's really good, but it can be countered with 2. It can be countered with a Valkyrie, and it's easily countered, easily able to be countered. So I know a lot of people are like, well, it works really well in a bait deck. Yes, it does work really well in a bait deck, but you know what? The epics are really hard to level up, guys. They're just, unless you want to spend a bunch of money, you know, and be a dirty gymmer like me, then you know, that's kind of where it is. So in this situation, it gets kind of sketchy because I have to put my Inferno, and I put my Inferno on the right hand side just so he could you know, pull, so that the minion horde didn't pull over there. And those 1 elixir skeletons kind of came in clutch there because I had to do something, and the zap and 1 elixir skeletons really helped out here. So put the Valkyrie in the back, and we were still able to secure the tower here. And you know, we're just 1 zap away just to take out that tower, unless our Valkyrie's going to come down here, and I do believe that she does. And it's a good point on his side. You know, if I was him, I probably would just let the tower go. And that's another thing that you just kind of learn in this game. You know, when you first start playing, we all make these mistakes. I know I made these mistakes in the very beginning as well. But I'm just trying to help you guys, you know, to not make the same mistakes. And some of you guys, like, you know, I'm not telling you to delete your accounts, but I'm just saying that, like, you know, this is key in importance. If you're at level 8 or 9 or 10 and you're down at 2200 trophies and you got the same cards as, you know, as me, but the tower damage does help. But you know, if you want to advance and get further in the game, you know, it might be smart to go on ahead and start over. I can't make that decision for you. I don't want to be held accountable for those decisions, but I feel like you guys should just, you know, figure out a deck that works for you. If you know, if that's all you want to do is do the bait deck, that's fine. Level up your Furnace, level up your Inferno, you know, level up your Skarmy only, your Goblin Barrel. But it's just going to be a tough and windy road for you because the epics are really, really hard to level up. So he did have to go on ahead and fireball there. So, you know, you're like, okay, you could have fireballed the tower, but if he didn't fireball my hog, and stuff right there, I would have taken down that other tower and he would have lost anyway. So it was pretty much a checkmate game for him, and you know, but that's just kind of what we're seeing. I did lose to a graveyard, and some people have also asked me like, hey, you know what, if you get graveyard, like, should I be using it? You know, should I only be leveling that? Sure, why not? You can do a hog graveyard, but make it work with your deck that you have. Don't try to go out of your way. And you know, I've gotten a lot of wows. This guy was actually level 8, and this game was actually really close. But the Inferno Dragon is actually very easy to counter. It's easily distracted, even with the new retargeting. He's still not a usable card in my opinion, and this is a problem that I've run into too as well, is that I have an under-leveled Musketeer, and it dies very easily to fireballs with one shot. Much like just this one level higher fireball is to kills the one level that's under that. So maybe the Musketeer is not way to go. You know, archers are still a great option if you're lucky enough to get a princess. Maybe that's it, but a princess is also easily countered by a log, which people are still using the logs. So he drops down some elite barbarians, which in the previous video I said were not good, and that is true. They weren't good. Now they are good, and they're very good actually. They're overpowered, and I think they're gonna get a nerf eventually. You know, they weren't usable at all, and now everybody is using them. I'm using them on my main count as well. So I mean, they're really good. It's a lot of fun, but I don't think longevity wise, I just don't think they're going to be a thing that's going to be used, and it's just my personal opinion. Doesn't mean I was right. So I was going to counter right there with my fire spirits, but I had to send out a fireball because he did have 7 elixir, but 7 elixir versus 4, we're making positive trades here, and that's how we're able to beat people that are higher opponents, by playing smart. So really the best thing to do, it doesn't matter what deck you guys choose or anything else. And like I said, I'm sorry to have offended you guys, but I'm just trying to make out some points that, like, you know, the mini P.E.K.K.A. and Musketeer and Valkyrie, and some of these cards are just always going to be just really good. And the Hog is just always going to be one of the best cards. You know, Giant, you're not going to go wrong with a Giant. I started off on my other account just using Giant because I thought that was going to be it. But I found that, you know, it was getting harder and harder to use the actual Giant in the level, and I was able to apply more pressure with the Hog because it's just my style. You guys know me. If you know any of my videos, I love the Hog Rider. So countering the elite barbarians, this guy has level 8 elite barbarians, and they are pretty elite, so we had to put down our Inferno here. But this guy's deck, it doesn't really make any kind of sense whatsoever, and it doesn't really gel. And by that, like, you know, you have to kind of figure everything out. So he's using a lot of cards that I've said that are not good. The Inferno, not the Inferno, the Inferno Dragon, the Witch. You know, a lot of these cards are, in my opinion, are just not good. You know, they might be good in one person's deck and they might have success, but generally, in my opinion, I would not waste my elixir or my gold to level up these cards. And you know, and I would just figure out a good deck that you've seen, and you know, like a top 200, like a mini P.E.K.K.A. Giant Musketeer deck, Fireball Zap. You know, these cards are always going to be good. And when you're building your account, you know, even Minion Horde is good too if you're going to do a bait deck, but so many people have stuff to counter them. Like, you know, that's why I put the Fire Spirits in my deck. It's just really easy to counter them. 2 versus 5, and those are the kind of trades I'm looking for, and that's how I can win with a lower level account with lesser, you know, quality cards, and, you know, towers that have like practically half the damage. So yeah, I don't know. So people are using their epics. They're like, okay, I got my first epic, I got my dragon to level 2, you know, let's go on ahead and use that. You know, and it's just like Baby Dragon. Yes, you see people playing it with the Golem deck, but Baby Dragon is not used in any other deck except for that Golem deck, and that's just to help clean up some of the smaller troops. And and just in my opinion, I just don't think it's a good card at all. And now we're gonna go on ahead and we'll take a look at countering the Sparky, because I know a lot of people are gonna have issues with it. Yet again, Sparky is another card like the Inferno Dragon. It's very easily countered, but the Sparky costs 6, and you know why people use the Sparky is because they get cheap and easy wins against people that don't know how to counter it, and then it gives them a false a false realization that Sparky is good because they they completely annihilated somebody, and it's fun. I made a Sparky video, and it's fun to play around with that and troll around, but generally speaking, it's not a good card that you should be in your everyday deck. But maybe you just want to have fun and everything else. But really, my channel here is geared to try to make people better so that they can get higher up in the trophy range. And literally, I mean, and some of the things that I'm telling you guys is just to help you out more down the road than currently right now, depending upon whatever level you are or anything else. So the one elixir skeletons right there were just coming really clutch. I was able to to fend off the Valkyrie, to give my Musketeer enough time to take care of the Miner, and at a level 4 Musketeer, it just takes like an hour for it to kill. So he clutched that up pretty well. And the Giant Skelly is still a really good card down in the lower arenas, but like I said, it's just an epic that I tried using it to win with and everything else in the higher arenas. It just wasn't happening. So this is some advice coming from from the top of the arenas, and I'm sitting here playing down in the lower arenas, that these are just tips that are going to help you out in the long run. And I just say generally just ignore the epics. But I know that people have got to really high just using all epics, but like I said, there is a point where they're no good anymore. And that's really what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that your favorite card sucks or anything like that. I'm just trying to help you guys out with tips that are going to help you have more fun with that there. So I was trying to counter the Miner a little bit with the one elixir skeletons. Try to wait there to put the Valkyrie in here, and the best way to counter a giant skeleton is put troops on the opposite side. I wasn't able to do that there. I wasn't sure what he was going to be able to put on his other side. So we're just playing really slow, but here I put the pressure on the right hand side. We're going ahead and fireball that there. We're going to take the blast from his Sparky, and now we're going to surround it with the one elixir skeletons. I meant to surround it. I completely messed up here, but we zapped it away. But as you can see, both of our towers are over here are down pretty low. Our one tower is down pretty low as well. But he is clogging up the one lane, so whenever somebody clogs up the one lane, you're going to have to push the other lane, especially you can't get by, especially with somebody that has higher level troops. So right now we're practically forcing him to put troops on the other side of the lane. He's going to try to chip away over here. Yet again, our troops, like right there, just like Inferno, the fire spirits just weren't able to really do much of anything. So we're hoping right here to go on ahead and take down that bad boy, and our wizards down. So going ahead and drop our hog, put our one elixir skeletons down. We're gonna go on ahead and send out the thought I was gonna fireball there. We're about to fireball now. So here comes the fireball and the zap combination to take down the W when we had our other tower almost down. So you need some direct damage. You need to be able to handle the 3 Musketeers. You're going to see those, and I see as you're going to get higher, you're going to see a lot more 3 Musketeers and Fireball, just for prediction fireballs against Barbarians or anything else with this deck. Guys, the Trifecta used to be the best deck in the game, and you know what, in the lower arena it counters, and this deck is so well balanced right now. And at I think it's what 3.3, at 3.3 it's pretty cheap. It's not as cheap as I'd like to go. I like to get in the 2.5 range, but just trying to pick one deck, I really couldn't use the Tombstone because I know that I'm going to be facing higher cards like Royal Giant. So Inferno is always going to be one of the best options you're going to be able to take care of and everything else. So we're going to go ahead and look through our battle logs real quick, and we're going to be able to take a gander here. I beat a Lava Hound deck earlier. A lot of people are kind of curious about maybe people get their first their legendary. This guy's a level 9. He's got 2 legends. Pretty typical standard situation that I've been running across. He drops down a skeleton army, and see guys, that's just not like, you don't drop down a skeleton army right off the back. I get it, some of your other cards, but that's one of your main defensive cards. So a lot of you guys that are using skeleton army as your main defense, it's easy to zap through the skeleton army, and you shouldn't ever become dependent on that card. because it is easily countered. So we're going to go ahead and put down our Musketeer in the back, the counter down there, and then he surprises me with the Lava Hound. So we're going to go ahead and put down our one Elixir Skeleton, and in hindsight here, I probably should have waited for him to lock down town, and the one Elixir Skeletons would have actually taken care of him a little bit faster, and then that wouldn't have felt like such a dicey situation. I could have zapped here, but I just decided to go on ahead and take the damage and kind of get geared up for a full push here. Now this deck is mainly about defense, just like any of my other decks, guys. You know, you got to sit here and you got to play defense. You know, it's all about the defense. And then we turn that into counter pushes, or especially when you're under leveled, it's something that you're going to end up having to do. So here comes the Musketeer coming in hot. So the one Elixir Skeletons are able to take care of the Musketeers on the bridge, or if it's a Princess, you can easily drop those one Elixir Skeletons right there on the bridge and to take care of that. So we go ahead and put our Hog down right here. We don't have my Zap ready, just used it. Kind of forgot about, you know, that he had the skeleton army, but that's okay. We're going to be able to drop down our Valkyrie and take care of that. So now we got our Valkyrie walking into the danger zone. I was thinking about Fireball there, but I did not go with it. So we're going to go ahead and defend. But now he gives me some Fireball value, so we send out that Fireball. Almost was money because, but we missed the goblins, but that was okay. We were able to distract with the one Elixir Skeletons, and that's why I think that is so important. So we go on ahead and drop down our Hog Rider. We got the Inferno Spirits. We got the Fire Spirits kind of coming down to back it up, and that's a typical thing when I push, but most people have something to counter those. So every once in a while you just kind of throw them off guard, but mainly the Fire Spirits are mainly for defense, so we were able to do that there. We're going to zap that away. Now we have a full health Hog Rider, and we also have the Fire Spirits coming up. He drops a Musketeer in her face. We actually get the jump on him, so 4 beats a 5 just because he gets the first shot in. So this is going to be kind of the final push here. We're going to go on ahead and send down the Fireball for the prediction, and we're going to get the Hog hit for the victory. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope there's something that you could gather out of this, maybe some tricks how to beat somebody else, or, you know, essentially this whole series is on deck building and learning how to, you know, counter things. I really feel like that's one of the most important things in the game, is learning how to counter what you're seeing the most as. So, you know, obviously if this deck counters your deck because you're using a bait deck, and you know, it's good to know things that counter your deck and how to maybe build a deck around, you know, things that counter it. I mean, you may probably not seen a lot of trifecta. I don't see too many trifectas being used in the lower arenas. You know, mainly what you're going to see is the bait decks and the Royal Giants. So this deck does handle those very easily. Just we're just not on the same playing field, which is kind of the reasons that a lot of people are always getting mad and upset. But here's the thing: if you're a good player, you should always be able to beat people that are levels like two levels above you, unless they're just super skilled. You know, I mean, if they're super skilled and they have the cards, then, you know, maybe that's it. So, you know, don't always try to make an excuse for your losses. Sometimes you're making the same mistakes over and over again. So just try to learn how to fix those, and see if you can become a better player, you know. And I hope that by you guys coming to my channel, this makes you a better player, because that's my whole intent here, is to try to help you guys become better players and fix some of those small mistakes, because, you know, it's not always just about your cards and how much money you're going to spend and everything else. There's things that you can do to make your changes in there to get you a little bit further. So I'm not going to tell you guys, like, once again, to delete your account. Maybe you should delete your account. I don't know what your situation is. It's really hard to dictate where you should or not. Maybe you spent $20 or $30 on it and you're like, well, I got a Princess and a Lava Hound, and I just don't want to do it, because I did go on ahead and upgrade everything. So I like this deck, so maybe that's it. But I feel like this deck right here is going to give me probably give me the best chance to make it to the Legendary Arena as a level 6. I just went ahead and upgraded it, and went ahead and upgraded my Fireball to level 6. And because that's something that I know we're going to use going forward. So some of these things that we're going to have to use getting there. I feel like I'm going to be able to get a good shot in it at getting a level 6, and we're hopefully going to use it with this deck. If not, then we'll learn something else, and I'll go on ahead and share that with you guys with my experiences and everything else. Elite Barbarians are going to make it really, really tough to make it possible to get there, because now it's just another component. I feel like they're still pretty easily countered, and 6 elixirs, still a ton of elixirs. So anyway, if you guys have not hit subscribe, please do that. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one, and peace, y'all.